Hello class, today I'm going to be talking about the First Amendment, and according to course guidelines, a historian must be objective and honest in their investigations. So, the First Amendment, it contains so many freedoms that are given to people: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to assemble, and in order to, if you have any redress, you go to the Supreme Court. So, according to Donald S. Luntz, there was no one European writer or one tradition of thought that dominated American political reading and writing during the late 1700s. One man that dominated American political writers of all the factions was Montesquieu and not Locke. This is kind of interesting. Montesquieu was known for his spirit of laws. It was a major contribution to political theory. He classified government based on his own analysis and assigned each form of government their own characteristics. So for a republic, it was based upon virtue. For a monarchy, it was based upon honor. And for despotism, it was based upon fear. And the classifications rest on the government's manner of conducting policies. His spirit of laws also included the separation of powers, divide political power into the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. And the political influence of the climate is like a physical, cold and heat. And then the non-physical, which where religion, laws, and things like that fall under, they grow with the civilization. So from Montesquieu, we get the early ideas of laws. And then according to the National Archives, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution gave citizens more confidence in the new government and contained many of today's Americans' most valued freedoms, like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and so on, freedom of the press, and all that. And this brought about arguments as the need to, during the convention for the amendments, about the right to assemble. Many thought that it didn't need to include it, but they argued for it. James Madison, he wanted a strong central government to control commerce, collect taxes, and implement policies. And the case for the Bill of Rights came about because the cause of the anti-federalists, those who opposed a strong central government and the Constitution, were fighting so hard against this. Richard Henry Lee despaired that at the lack of provisions to protect those essential rights of mankind without which liberty cannot exist. And so I'm going to focus on the freedom of religion. More recently, what the First Amendment protects, which is the freedom of speech, the press, religion, the ability to assemble, and the ability to petition the government to redress any grievances. A more recent case is Jack Phillips of the Masterpiece Cake Shop in Colorado, who has been in a legal battle basically since 2012. First with a gay couple that were going to require him to, they argued to the Colorado commissions that he violated their civil rights in order to have a wedding cake made by him. They argued that he doesn't have a right, or Jack Phillips has a right to deny services to anyone because it's a service, and it can violate his First Amendment rights. In 2018, right after the decision came down that Jack Phillips does have the right to pick and choose who he can bake to, another person came with a probable cause to the commission. It was a transgendered woman who wanted a transition cake made. This case was actually dropped recently in March after the discovery phase demonstrated that the state was displaying anti-religious hostility by continuing to pursue Phillips. So he thought he was done. Now currently he's in another legal battle, as on June 5th of 2019, the same transgendered person has issued another complaint against Jack Phillips. So we shall see how they rule on that one. And that is the First Amendment. Thank you so much.